Who is Natalia Grace in Good American Family? All about Imogen Faith Reid. Imogen Faith Reid, a 27-year-old British actor, makes her acting debut portraying Natalia Grace in Hulu's drama series Good American Family. The show revisits the true story of the Ukrainian orphan with dwarfism adopted by an American couple, who later accused her of being an adult posing as a child. Reid, who also has dwarfism, plays the lead in a dramatized version that explores shifting perspectives surrounding the high-profile case. The series, starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass as Natalia's adoptive parents, aims to humanize a polarizing subject by emphasizing the legal complexities and the emotional fallout. Reid was cast for the show after submitting a self-taped audition. I went for it anyway because there was nothing to lose. And I think I had done about 400 takes of that self-tape, and my sister was helping me, Reid told Today. Why it matters. Good American Family arrives at a time when dramatized true crime is dominating streaming platforms. The Hulu show takes on the controversial and still disputed story of Natalia Grace and presents it through layered perspectives rather than a single point of view. Series creator Katie Robbins said the show's success hinged on finding the right actor to portray Natalia. It was such a challenging part, and it lived and died on finding somebody who could play it, Robbins told Today. Reid's casting became central to the production's integrity, not only because of her acting ability, but also because of her experience with dwarfism, which paralleled aspects of Natalia's identity. Despite having no prior speaking roles on camera, Reid's performance stood out during auditions. She brought us all in with her emotional accessibility, her vulnerability, her ability to play multiple sides and shades of this character, Robbins told Today. The show structure requires the actor portraying Natalia to be seen as both a child and a potential adult, a dynamic that demands significant emotional range. The show explores both the accusations made against Natalia and her subsequent abandonment by adoptive parents Christine and Michael Barnett, who in 2013 left her in an apartment and moved to Canada with their biological children. They said that they believed that Natalia was an adult. Court records and medical testing later affirmed she was 9 years old when the Barnetts adopted her. What to know? Before this role, Reid worked as a stand-in and body double on projects like The One and Only Ivan and The Rings of Power. Despite this being her first speaking role on camera, co-star Mark Duplass praised her professionalism. You add in that her form of dwarfism is different than Natalia's dwarfism, so she had to learn a specific physicality that could work inside of her body and feel true to her. She had to build that whole thing out, Duplass told Today. To prepare, Reid worked with a dialect coach and learned the specific physicality associated with Natalia's condition. I think the biggest thing is I'm a little person. And as a little person, I understand the daily struggles that we go through and the judgment that we perceive in everyday life, she said. While Reid's exact height has not been disclosed in interviews or official biographies, she has spoken about being visibly shorter than average due to her condition. Dwarfism is generally defined by an adult height of 4 feet 10 inches or shorter. People don't often know that I am a little person and just think I am a child, she told PopSugar. I think this is because of the lack of information there is out there about dwarfism, and that there are different types that people just don't know about. Like the real Natalia Grace, Reid has dwarfism, though her diagnosis is different. Reid was born with Russell-Silver syndrome, a rare condition characterized by slow growth before and after birth, leading to short stature and distinct physical features. This type of dwarfism makes me in proportion, Reid told PopSugar. My family explains it to people as me being similar to Thumbelina, as she is just a tiny character. Reid said she has curved pinkies and was born with blonde hair, both common traits of the syndrome. Who are Imogen Faith Reid's parents? Reid has not named her parents publicly in interviews, but she often refers to her close relationship with her family. Imogen Faith Reid, who plays Natalia Grace on Good American Family, told Today, "Our show does a brilliant job of playing with multiple perspectives and creating our own versions of our characters. And you really have to watch it all to get the full picture of what's going on." What happens next? Reid hopes the role will lead to more opportunities. "It would be so amazing. I love this industry, and it's such an honor to be a part of it," she said while speaking to Today. For those intrigued by the real-life mystery surrounding Natalia Grace, the character of Imogen Faith Reid in Good American Family is bound to stir up just as many questions. Inspired by the unsettling real-life case of Natalia Grace Barnett, Good American Family weaves a gripping fictionalized tale about identity, deception, and the thin line between truth and manipulation. At the heart of the show is Imogen Faith Reid, a young girl whose origins are shrouded in uncertainty. Much like the story that captured headlines, Imogen's journey into her adoptive family is anything but ordinary. Her presence disrupts the seemingly picture-perfect dynamic of the Reids, unraveling deep-seated fears and anxieties that were buried beneath the surface of their idyllic suburban life. But who is Imogen Faith Reid, and what is the truth behind her past? The arrival of Imogen. The story begins when the Reid family, a well-off, charitable couple, Daniel and Margaret Reid, decide to expand their family by adopting a young girl from an orphanage overseas. With their 2 biological children already in their teens, they long to provide a home to a child in need. Enter Imogen, a petite and seemingly sweet 6-year-old girl from Ukraine, with bright, intelligent eyes and an innocent demeanor that immediately endears her to them. However, from the moment she arrives, something about Imogen feels off. It isn't the usual difficulties of adjusting to a new home. Rather, it's the uncanny maturity in her speech, her mannerisms that seem too refined for a child, and an inexplicable tension that follows her presence. Margaret, ever the devoted mother, dismisses the nagging doubts, while Daniel, more pragmatic, starts to wonder if they know the full story of who Imogen really is. A girl with a hidden past. As the Reids try to integrate Imogen into their home, strange incidents begin to occur. Their teenage daughter, Claire, insists that Imogen watches her sleep at night. Their son, Ethan, claims to have found unsettling drawings in Imogen's room, depictions of a dark figure looming over the family. And then there are the injuries, small, inexplicable scratches appearing on Daniel and Margaret in the morning, as if someone had been hovering over them in the dead of night. Margaret, desperate to make the adoption work, pushes aside these concerns. She insists that Imogen is simply reacting to past trauma, that she needs love, not suspicion. But Daniel begins digging. The adoption agency, when pressed for more information, is surprisingly uncooperative. The orphanage in Ukraine that supposedly housed Imogen is suddenly impossible to reach. Medical records are vague. And then the real bombshell. A medical evaluation suggests that Imogen might not be 6 years old at all, but significantly older. The web of lies. The revelation sends the Reids into a tailspin. Who is Imogen Faith Reid? Is she truly an abandoned child, or someone with a much darker past? As tensions rise, Imogen's behavior grows increasingly erratic. She swings between moments of childlike innocence and chilling displays of calculated intelligence. She knows things she shouldn't. She manipulates situations to her advantage. And when Daniel finally obtains proof of her real identity, the truth is more terrifying than they could have imagined. Imogen, it turns out, had been adopted before by other families, all of whom had mysteriously severed ties with her. Some had even fled, leaving her behind with little explanation. She had a history of legal disputes regarding her age, and every time the matter was investigated, the trail went cold. Official documents had been altered. Witnesses had disappeared. And now the Reids found themselves at the center of her twisted narrative. The breaking point. As the truth unravels, Margaret, still clinging to hope, refuses to believe that the child she has come to love could be dangerous. But one night, everything changes. A near-fatal incident involving Claire leaves no room for doubt. Imogen is not what she seems.